My name is Natasha Murray. You may know Natty. I'm a VR DJ, artist, and event producer, and I've been DJing in VR and creating events in AltspaceVR, Wave, Sansar, Neos, and Twitch for a while. And you may already have a few questions about that. Well, what exactly is a VR DJ or artist, and how did you get to that point? And it's a bit of a complicated and long story. I'll start with the fact that I've been a visual artist since I was very young, and Los Angeles to San Francisco about 10 years ago to go to art school. My major was in new media and web design, and I quickly learned that web design was not necessarily my passion, but that I was fascinated by the digital arts, design, videography, motion graphics, and photography. Before I graduated high school, I began to fall in love with electronic dance music, and I started to go as many shows as I could. And during my time in art school, I took a music production course and began to take an interest to learn how to make mixes in a DJ software with my laptop. I began daydreaming of the type of DJ I would become, but I never really was able to take it further than a laptop mouse because I was intimidated at learning how to use such complicated equipment and then having to buy it all at a price I couldn't afford during college, which was just not something that was feasible at the time. After that, I worked some years in design, photography for nonprofit organizations, and word-of-mouth clients, and about 3 years ago, I went through a period of isolation that strongly affected my ability to interact with others. And I just wanted to find a way to connect and talk to strangers on the internet the same way that I did when I went to a club or festival, but all I could find were toxic chat rooms and weirdos that would ask me for my age, sex, and location. But one day, I actually happened upon an app called AltspaceVR, and I was able to use my MacBook way back in the day to actually interact with the people around me, and I learned all about different VR apps from the people in Altspace, including all sorts of art apps, such as Oculus Medium and Tiltbrush and Kingspray. And people told me about the headsets that they were using and being really friendly, so by that point I was really sold on virtual reality in general. And I was in dire need of a new computer at the time, so I made the switch to a PC and bought myself a VR headset. And after that, I started sculpting using my VR headset, and these are artworks that I did during the month of January 2018. And basically, I was tasked with doing a sculpt a day using this program, and I decided to do that, and it was a great learning experience, and I learned a lot. I hadn't had any sculpting experience before that, so that was quite a journey. It was an awesome thing to learn. I met a lot of great people along the way. I promise I'll get to DJing at some point, but it does tie back in, I promise. So this is what it looks like to actually sculpt in VR. This is me sculpting, a classic art piece that we all recognize. And yeah, so I began to experiment with, just creating things in VR in an artistic way. And after a certain point, I was invited to be on this show called Road to Tokyo, where we were tasked with sculpting an object in 10 minutes as a competition. And actually, that's my friend who I practice with night and day before this competition. And of course, they pit us against each other the first round. We were tasked with sculpting infinite fire in this clip, and as you can see, I'm sculpting a caveman here. So yeah, that was a great experience. I met a lot of amazing people, some industry professionals who have been sculpting for a very, very long time, and was very honored to be sharing a screen with them and sharing a platform with them and getting to meet them and getting to know them. So I was runner-up for this competition, which would have won me a trip to Tokyo. And then after that, I would have had the chance to win a lot of money. But the guy that beat me actually ended up going on to win a lot of money in Tokyo, and I'm really happy for him because it was a great experience just all around, and he's still a friend of mine to this day. So I kind of went home after that competition, and I decided to try something else, and I happened upon TribeXR. So TribeXR is a real-life simulation, or virtual reality simulation of a real-life deck. It's a simulation of the DJM 900 mixer and the Nexus 2000 CDJs. And I didn't know a whole lot about, the equipment, but I knew enough to know that it was a pretty good simulation of what having a real deck would be like. So I decided to start learning how to use TribeXR, and I thought, well, if I could learn how to sculpt in VR, why not learn how to DJ? So I began to practice with some of the house music that I had loved over the years, and I quickly fell in love. And soon after, I met Ozan, who is the mastermind of Tribe and also a lifeline to the TribeXR community. He's super helpful, and I think he's in the audience just over there. Yep, there he is. I'll invite him on stage to speak a little bit more about Tribe later. And fortunately, Tribe's headquarters were less than 10 miles away from where I live, so Ozan and the Tribe team and I became fast friends, especially because we shared such a passion for the software. And they began to ask me to attend conferences to demonstrate as a true community member who learned how to DJ in VR. And from there, doors started to open to me more, and here's a little bit about how that started. And this is a little bit more about Tribe itself. So this is actually back-to-back. So we are actually in two different places at once, DJing at the same time and hearing the same thing and experiencing the same thing. Yeah, so that's a little bit about the basics of how to use the app. And here's a little bit of my journey. This is just a few days after I started to learn to mix. This is the radio show that they used to host every Wednesday. Here's me at a conference kind of demonstrating a DJ battle. Here's me at a real-life nightclub in San Francisco called City Nights, which has obviously since been shut down by COVID, but this was around October of before COVID started. And people were kind of just flabbergasted. They didn't really know what to expect. They were asking me what I was doing in the DJ booth, and I was like, that's me up there. And I'm DJing live with this software.
Welcome. Peace. Love. Joy. Hope.
And then I started getting asked to DJ for real-life events, once again before COVID started, in places across the world such as Toronto, Spain, Georgia. And then I got contracted by a company called Virtual Sports, an entertainment center in Seattle, And they basically asked me to be their virtual remote DJ for their actual physical location. And we wanted to move along with plans that would include having an AltSpace room that was dedicated for that. This is actually me in Seattle, right after COVID started, wearing a mask and DJing in real life in front of their real setup. Here's me in Evolver in AltSpace. And here's me at my own event, which I've been doing every Thursday since January, and doing live DJ mixes with the team at Virtual Sports. So that includes Zach, Jake, and Alex, who eventually, when Virtual Sports shut down, ended up coming to just volunteer their time to work on this show with me. So this is the Thursday show where we kind of showcase what we're doing each week. And actually, this space here was built by Liam, who is here on the side, and I designed it in collaboration with him, and we built the space together. So this is the new space that we built together, and this kind of brings us back to, you know, the kind of artistic expression side of what I love about VR. I wanted to start to tell more stories with my art, and so at some point, a little bit after learning Tribe, I found an app called Wave. And the resident DJs there welcomed me with open arms. You know, it's a platform that allows you to bring your own custom models into the environment and set them up for a VJ to manipulate during your set. So it really feels like a real live show, and you're actually designing the environment and playing the music into it. That was clips from the first ever VR Burning Man, which was created by VRA Live and myself. We worked together to conceptualize the first ever Burning Man event in VR. And with the help of the resident DJs and almost 40 artists, we created a 3-hour community-organized experience inspired by Burning Man. This one is my own show. This is some of my own work that I started to do after that. I think I'm going to go through this video again just because... Oops. Just want to showcase the Burning Man part. These are some of the pieces that all of the different artists came together to create. And this was pre-COVID, pre-AltSpace Burning Man, and it was just kind of dawned on me that this is the way, you know, to kind of bring an experience to people in VR, bring music and bring art at the same time. So I started doing my own shows, and this is one of my pieces here, the party bus. And this is one of my other shows called Mind Control, where it was kind of hidden knowledge based and kind of telling a story of just mind control in general and how that affects you, especially in VR. So I created this as a replica of Times Square, and I used Tilt Brush and Oculus Medium, and then I brought that into Wave and performed my show in there. And this is, yeah, one of my favorite stages, unfortunately. I think I need to rebuild it because it's got a lot of polygons. All these were hand painted and brushed. Everything you see is done by hand. So this is another club that I did. I also brought this into Sansar, which is another VR platform. And here is a crop field that I made using Tilt Brush. I sculpted each of those leaves by hand. And in this show, I kind of wanted to tell a story of an alien abduction. So you start out on this quiet farm, and then suddenly an alien comes by and abducts you and leaves a crop circle in props, and you get taken on a journey to, see the world and then go to space eventually. So yeah, this was one of my shows that was the only one that I actually felt like I feel like I'm actually telling a story, like almost like it's a movie. So it's a 1-hour experience, and each scene goes about 5 minutes, and then it switches to the next, and you're transported to the next place. So here you find out the aliens are cats, which I am also a cat in Wave. And here is a bar that I created with the help of Liam. It is designed after a bar in LA called Red Line. And I worked with the owner of the bar to try to design the most realistic experience possible. And here's me actually DJing using the Tribe decks inside of WaveXR. So that's a kind of another thing that I'll mention soon, is that I've figured out a way to use TribeXR and any other app simultaneously, which is how I do my Thursday shows. So that's how it looks so much like I'm actually interacting with that model when I'm actually seeing Tribe in front of myself during that time. Here's a piece that actually Liam and I collaborated on again for this year's Burning Man. I was tasked with organizing the Imperial Temple event and bringing the temple to Wave with their venerated objects and to lead them to the official Imperial Temple experience. So that was really wonderful, and I just find this temple so beautiful. They did a really great job building it. So these are some of the venerated objects, and they're decorated by tilt brush and controlled by a VJ who can change the rotation, the lighting, the color of the lighting, and everybody here is listening to live music. This is a few more screenshots of the Red Line, just because I feel like the clip was a little dark. These are murals that exist in the real space. And I tried to make sure that it was as realistic as possible. Some people that have actually been here said that they felt like they were walking into the real thing, so that was a major compliment. Oops, and I teleported through the media console. Here is an example of what we do on the Thursday shows. What you see here is me and Tribe, but actually you'll see that my POV sees AltspaceVR. So this is kind of another example of what I was talking about when I'm occupying two VR apps at once. I'm in Tribe, but I can see AltspaceVR, and I can switch back and forth at whenever I feel like it's convenient. So yeah, that way I can actually interact with my crowd, see what they're doing, see if they're dancing, and give off some emotes to let them know that I see them too. So that's my favorite part about the Thursday shows. Also, not to mention the fact that Jake from the Dream Team, which is our little team that we call ourselves the Dream Team, Jake is the broadcast director, Alex is a camera operator here in Sansar, Zach is a live VJ that's actually broadcasting visuals behind me, and I'm DJing, and this is all done live. And we are in Sansar as an app, and AltspaceVR as an app, and on Twitch. So we're trying to basically connect all of the different parties together with one model, one party, one DJ set, and try to make it as interactive as possible to try to bring the experience to as many people as we can. Here's another party in Sansar, in the club that you might recognize that was also in Wave. It's a little different. I put the platform in the center instead of having a swimming pool. And here's some of the events I've done in Wave. You may recognize this stage. It's the one downstairs. um, some folks from Immersive X over here. And up here you can see back in the day when Ozan and I were first exploring the back-to-back feature and being in Altspace at the same time, back when we had legs. So that was probably about May or June or something like that. And we also had the opportunity recently to link up with Beatport and actually do a live stream for them. There was, I think, 8 DJs or 9 DJs that ended up spinning for Beatport, and we had upwards of 10,000 viewers at times. It was a really wonderful experience, and once again, the Dream Team kind of came through to make sure that people in Altspace could enjoy it as well. And that's another thing about Tribe, is that Beatport is integrated into it so that you can actually use Beatport Link to bring your tracks in, so you don't have to download hundreds of dollars worth of music, you know, all the time. You can just get a 1-month subscription, see if you like it, and try Tribe out. This is actually one of the events that we're starting to do every Sunday now. Ozan and I demonstrate how to use Tribe here in Altspace, actually in a model that resembles exactly the inside of the Tribe room. And not only that, but with this new configuration that Ozan and the Tribe team have put together, we're able to actually speak to the video here as if it was a video conference. So we could see you from Tribe into Altspace and talk to you with absolutely no latency, and show you exactly what you want to learn, and show you exactly, let you listen to exactly what you want to hear in real time. So that's what we do every Sunday now, and I'm really excited for these events because it's only going to get better and better. We've only done 2 of them so far. So far they've been a great success and a lot of fun. And back-to-backing with Ozan is always, a blast. So yeah, that is about it. These are the events that I suggest you check out if you want to learn more. Thank you guys so much for your appreciation and claps. I really appreciate it. I just want to say in conclusion, I became a VR DJ because it was a powerful way to express myself in VR and bring a much-needed positive environment to people in the midst of everything that's going on right now. So art and music are the 2 things that people really need and want, and virtual reality is becoming more and more affordable and accessible every day. And I really believe that VR today is laying the groundwork for the future to come, and we're no longer looking at screens with rectangles within rectangles anymore. We're looking around us and grabbing things and throwing them away. And when AR technology and other sci-fi inventions start popping up, we may be wearing glasses or contacts or nothing at all, and still interacting with the world in a 3-dimensional way. So what happens in VR now and the way we learn to interact with it and contribute to it is more important than ever. Thank you. Thank you guys so much.